Okay, guys, I am completing my setup. I was hoping to be finished by now. And I want to get the camera at a good angle. Hey sis, how are you? I am. I'm just about done setting up. Can you hear me good? I'm doing pretty good. I made it here. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Trying to get my other phone set up. Okay. And I want to make sure that this is clear. See, I don't want to sit it more. That's going to interfere. I'll see how this works out. May not work out until I can sit down and hold it in place. Just bear with me 1 second because I need to see the best angle to set the camera up. So I'm going to move around a little bit, trying to see what's going to be most comfortable. Okay. But I still want you to be able to see the paints. And that may not be possible from this angle. So I may have to go back with the angle I was already in. 1 second. We're almost there. It's gonna have to work for now. Okay, so from this palette again. And my focus on. Okay. Let me see if I can put the cookies in the view. There we go. Now, there they are. All right, let me go grab my coffee and then I will be ready to sit down and get started. She said that's better. Okay, here we go. A cup of coffee here. And if you don't know what Biscoff cookies are, that's what I'm having. My Biscoff cookies. And this is my signature cup of coffee, my Illy coffee. And this is the one that's ground. I occasionally get the beans that I grind myself, but for convenience, I prefer to get the one that's already ground. Hey, Dina, how you doing? And this is my go-to coffee creamer right now. So when you see me sipping my coffee, this is what it is. The amaretto creamer and my Illy coffee. Okay, I would like to thank everybody for joining me today. Hopefully Naoki give us a better stream today because she's sitting right behind me. I should have shown her before I set up, but I'm set up too perfectly. Well, you know what? I'm going to give her little time to shine. We're going to give Naoki a minute. So there she is. And hopefully she has some fresh millet, so hopefully she'll give us a better stream today. And she's much quieter than she normally is. All right. Also, so today I decided to paint a tulip because we are 3 days into spring, and tulips are known as one of the first spring flowers. And I took note, tulips are an iconic spring flower. One of the first blooms to pop up in the garden in late winter or early spring. Also, out here in Texas, there's something called blue bonnets. Beautiful, beautiful flowers that you see pop up, like when I'm driving, I'll see them in fields, or it's kind of far away areas, so it's hard for me to get pictures of them. I will have to see if there's a park or somewhere where I could actually get some pictures so I could show to you guys. But back to the tulips, those colorful blooms signal the season of gray and cold is nearly over and warmer weather is in sight. Tulips are hope on a stem. And with that being said, I would also like to dedicate this live to my baby girl, Janae. Very, very, very hard worker and a child that deserves much recognition at her young age of 18. She's breaking boundaries beyond her age level. Of course, in my eyesight as her mother, she's breaking boundaries beyond her age level with her job placement. She purchased her car last year, and she's doing things in order to establish credit. She just have her mind in the right place for the age of 18. So I want to dedicate this live to her. So I'm going to be painting from the same palette I used in my last live, my Lucas palette. And this is one of the palettes that I did as a homemade palette. But before I get started with the painting, I also want to tell you guys that right now I'm jumping into, for more art insight, no more secondhand art, awakening the artist within. I've been reading this for at least a week now. I want to say maybe out of that week, with my work week, I may have read it for 3 days, but this is what I'm focusing on at the moment. I also have some art book flip throughs that I'm going to eventually do with you guys. I have a lot of art books here that I want to share. Some books that some people may not even be aware of. So because I do have them, I would like to share them. And these books by Ginger Roth, these are very, very old books. A lot of these were produced before I was even born, 1973. So I would love to show off some of this art in some of my future videos because it's really, really nice. And of course, it's the vintage style sketches that's throughout these books. So that's something else I have coming up. And a topic that's not art related, but something else that I do feel will be nice to share with people. Or I have a love of analog clocks, and I have a whole bag here full of analog clocks that I filled up. So these are really, really nice vintage timepieces that, let's see, okay, here it is. Beautiful, beautiful clocks that you wind up and take and have the time. You can even set the alarms on them. And I have a nice collection of them. So I want to share some of these as well. I have several different colors, several different styles. So I'm going to do a video highlighting my analog clocks. And it won't just be the ones that's in this bag, because I have several analog clocks throughout my home, because I just love the style of vintage clocks. This is another one that I have sitting next to my desk. But I just love the style of vintage clocks. So eventually I'll be sharing that as well. But getting started, I'm missing the most important thing, the water. I did not set up my water. I also have to turn the AC on because my daughter will be in from work shortly. We're in the battle of the AC. I don't need it, but she does. I'm gonna need it. Oh, thank you, Dina. Oh, yeah, you say you're proud of her, Kim. Yeah. Okay, so let's get started. And you guys will be seeing the same brush that I have this love-hate relationship with. For some reason, I keep grabbing it anyway. And Kim, I have to rotate the cookies for a second. They have to go back. Don't want to accidentally dip the brush into the cookies. Okay. So I moved a few things off the desk to try to get a little more space, and it feels like it's working for me a little bit. All right, we're gonna get the paint sprayed. And if anyone wants to paint along, I did put this sketch in my community post. So if you go to my community post, you will see it. So you can screenshot it and sketch from there. And okay. So I'm going to start off with yellow. This is my permanent yellow light that I'm starting off with. And again, these are the Lucas 1862 watercolors. Oh, you say you could still see them? Okay, good. I'm glad you could still see them. And let's get this first spot of color down to welcome in spring. The first day of spring this year was March 19th, by the way. Okay, I'm gonna add a little magenta. Put my glasses on. Okay. And I might also use a little cadmium red in here. There's Naoki. She's about to be kicked out. Naoki. 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 Stop. Thank you. Let's see how long that'll last. Look like someone gonna get kicked out today. She's gonna have to go in my room. But she definitely can't be out while I'm painting because she has the nature of any 5-year-old child. She's curious and she'll think she's an artist as well, and that's how that's gonna go. Okay, let's start with the stem. Again, I'll go in with permanent yellow. And a little, let's see, try out the carmine to see if I like the green that one produced. It's okay. I'm dabbing in a little bit yellow ochre on the stem because it was a little too bright for me. And I'll go over it with ultramarine on the other side. And that looks much better. And I'm just slowly, lightly graduating the petal and the stem together a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to take a little burnt umber and mix with the cadmium red because I need shadows on the side. Then we're going to darken the colors just a little. I have one sketch line going down the center that I intended to erase. I forgot to do it. It's not a problem, but it was just a few sketch lines in here that I forgot to erase before I got started. When I have one other thing to do. Hopefully this don't interfere with my screen. Yeah, I forgot to D&D my phone. I like to D&D it so that I won't be disturbed while I'm doing a live. So this is just the stage where I am dropping in colors so that they can all kind of merge together. That's why with watercolors, nothing will ever look exactly alike because the paint merges itself the way it wants to. So nothing will ever look exactly. You could paint the same thing a million times and none of them will ever look exactly alike. You could be more structured with acrylics and oil paintings. One second, my daughter's walking in. How you doing? I'm gonna go speak with her. One second, guys. Okay, I'm back. All right. Oh, to Kim say, hey, Nene. Hi. She said hello, Kim. I let this line dry on me when I got up, but It'll be okay. I'm gonna blend it out as much as possible and it'll fall into place. Okay, I have one area that I'm going to drop light shadowing into while this is wet. Right up in here. And move it over here. Now I'm going to go down to some of the petals to the bottom. And I will start the edges off with yellow ochre. And I'm going to add a little permanent yellow to that. Put the water down. I have several lines that I did not even, I'm going to get some of them erased before the water touches them, because once the water touches the graphite, it becomes permanent. Okay. My other eraser is in my work bag and I'm too lazy to get up to get it right now. Because believe it or not, when I'm at work, I work on sketching as well, as much as I can at my break time, which is a 30-minute break. So imagine trying to, I never really bring a full meal, but trying to snack on something and work on sketches at the same time, trying to sketch out different ideas. And I'll show you guys one that I did this week. Hopefully you can see it. This is one that I worked on, but I did that one as I inked that one in. And we're gonna mix up our I'll get my brush really clean before I go into the light colors. Oh, I forgot to turn my ringer off. Let me have my daughter return this call. Let me have my daughter return this call. I'll talk to you. Okay. I forget that if someone is in your D&D, they can still interrupt your live. So I would have to put my phone in airplane mode. Okay, that's one petal painted in. I'm gonna come back and add more details to it. One more second. Oh, hey, Crystal. How you doing? How you feeling? Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you're doing okay. I have been worried about you. You've been going through so much, but you keep staying strong. I have to put my band on, guys. Forgot to put that on in this bracelet. Always reminds me. Yep, you are. And that's right. God is good. Naoki. Naoki. I'm about to have Nene escort you out of here. Nene, I need you to get Naoki to my room. I tried. I tried to let her interact. She's showing off. I need you to bring Naoki to my room. She's still in a playing mode, guys, and she have to be kicked out because she's gonna play until she's tired. You could put her in right. That's not nice. Put her in my room. And turn that bedside lamp off. She may go to sleep. Okay, so the back leaf, I'm going to add a little shadow to it before I paint it. That way it's easier to see the transition. Now she's upset. That's an upset. She upset now. If you can hear her. So adding this shadow in is going to help darken the back part even more. The back part of the leaf. It'll help to darken it even more. And now I'll go in. I decided to go live a little earlier today, Crystal. That's why you were able to catch me, because I'm a night owl. Since I work overnight, normally I do everything late at night. So sometimes I'll be live at like 2 in the morning. So you'll see it pop up most likely during the day, but it's because I did it so late. Okay, so you can see how that helped the back part of the leaf stand out a little more than the front, and you can kind of see the transition a little better. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Start with the shadow for the background. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to this outside petal here, and I will do the same thing in order to form a little bit of a transition. I'm going to shadow the inside part of the petal. And having putting down shadows or things to form transitions in your work is what helps to form realism. Now add a little bit color in there. And I will do the same on this side, the right side. Thank you, Crystal. It's very relaxing. This is one of my favorite things in the world to do. I could sit and paint for hours. Okay. And we will work a little more on the same way on the other side. Gotta work this a little first. Okay. So now we'll move on to this. I'll move on to this petal here. Wet it a little first. Okay, Crystal, good night. Okay, so while that dries, I'm going to jump to the first leaf that I worked on again and add a little more color to here to kind of start building the color a little. And now you could kind of see the color beginning to build up. And I'll work on the other one, the inside part here a little more. I also want to brighten it a little bit because it's a little dark to me. So I'm going to add a little light to it. And I'll add just a little light to the other side as well. Okay. I'm going to wet this just a little. And so now these two colors are merging into one another. And it gives it more of a ombre look without having any hard lines to it. So this right here is for you, Kim. Okay, next I'm going to go on to this petal here. That way you can start seeing this petal stand out. That was a cheers to you. I hope you enjoyed it. Too much water. Okay, and I'm going to work a little bit more on, you see, I guess. I'm going to work a little bit more on the main petal. So, come down a little bit. A little of the cadmium red. Okay, so now I'm going to work on this outside petal here. Okay, this is what we are so far. Still have another petal to do. I'm gonna add in the background and kind of have a faded tulip here behind this one. Spring is actually my favorite season, but I also have a fond love of fall because fall is like the time of dark academia, the time the steampunk era begins to come to life. So that's what I love about the fall. Often when I would do decorated journal covers, like for September, because I want to say it's the end of September that oh, you love spring and fall. Yeah, I would say that I think it's the end of September that transitions into fall. So when I'm doing my decorated journals, my monthly planners, sometimes I'll decorate my September cover with gears and different things that represent the steampunk era. I love the owls. I have Hedwig sitting here on my desk. Hedwig from Harry Potter. I love that era. And then that's another thing. That's like the Harry Potter era. It's just anything dark academia is fun for me to watch or get involved with during the fall. But spring represents new life, new beginnings. So I love that about spring. And another way of looking at steampunk is like a Victorian punk because it's still an era of where it's kind of high fashion, but it was like more of a rebellious high fashion. And I love steampunk. Let me check my battery. Okay, we're good. We at 36. Okay, so I'm going to work on this background to help the flower stand out. Well, first, okay, I'm gonna wet everything with this big brush here. Wet the entire page. And I need to mention, because I always forget to mention this part, I am working from my Fabriano Classic Artist Journal. I love this journal. I put I don't know, I'm having a brain fog right now. Uh why can't I think of the binding that you put on the books? I can't think of it's gonna come to me, but I covered it because it's a paper cover on here and it tears off easily. So I had to cover it in order to bind the cover together. That's why it has washi tape on the spine, because this book fell apart on me. So I had to, you can see here, it actually fell apart on me. So I had to washi tape that together and cover it in order to hold it together. But I love painting on the paper. And it's not like painting on watercolor paper. So watercolor paper holds the water a little longer. This one doesn't hold it as long. So that's why when I'm doing a big spread like this, I'll work on it in sections rather than wetting the whole page and then expecting it to stay wet for a while. So I have two things to work on right here. This background flower, which I will just drop color in to create. Basically, I'm creating the illusion of a flower in the background. Okay, I'm gonna check the battery again because I don't know how quickly it's going dead. Okay, it's at 33. And now I think I'm just gonna do I guess I'll go with like a light springy blue background. think I'll stick with the same thing. Now I'm going to wet this side because I'm going to work on this side. Have one edge right here that I don't like very much, so I'm going to scrub it to blend it down a little. I'm going to do a battery check. $30. Still good. We're going to have another cookie for Kim. Here you go, Kim. Here's my mic. I don't like to pin it on me because I want to be heard, but I don't want to be my voice to be overpowering. So I'm hoping that it's still picking my voice up pretty good, but I don't want my voice to just be too loud. I'm not a loud person, and I don't want it to come off too loud. So that's why I don't pin the mic on. I'll just sit it in an area where I can still pick up my voice. That cookie was good, Kim. So the whole idea behind or you see that me doing my sketchbook or is because it kind of gives me ideas on final pieces that I may want to eventually create. The sketchbook work is only it's only a guide for me to go off for later. Like I may want to do this acrylic in way more realistic detail. I mean, do this tulip in way more realistic detail using acrylic paint or maybe eventually all paint. But it kind of gives me a layout of what color schemes I will go with and the design, the sketch. So I could look at what I have in my sketchbook, sketch it out on a canvas, and then create a final piece for it. But the sketchbook work is only, most of the time it's just, it's exercises. It's just like, it's mental exercises just to help guide your brain in a direction you want to go in to create a final piece. For me, that's what I use my sketchbook work for. I can't speak for all artists. If you look at the that large acrylic painting that I did, it's in one of my shorts. That started out as sketchbook work. I did that in my sketchbook several times before I created that final piece off of it. Before I was satisfied with a look to go ahead on and create the final piece. I'm gonna grab my backup battery just in case I have to hurry up and plug my phone up. Alexa, light on. Okay, just in case I have to plug my phone up, I have the battery here. I don't want to do it too early because that means I'll have to unplug my mic in order to plug up my battery. Let's see. All right. So now I'm just going to add just a little more highlighting to the colors to help them pop out a little bit more. We have here where I did the shadow, but I did not really add any color to it. So I'm going to fix that spot there. Out of all the colors in this palette, my cat red light never did it just never did a complete dry down, because to say I did this palette maybe a year and a half ago, it releases a lot of color when I go to pick the color up, if you can see. So this color is extremely loose compared to, like, here I can go in and pick up dry color and not pick up too much, but that one, it releases a lot of color. And the whole tube is like that. It took a long time to even dry, for this color to dry. So if I had to refill this pan, I would most likely, I could probably refill one now, a separate pan, and just let it dry for maybe months, and then eventually pop this pan out and replace it with a new pan, when normally you don't have to do that. As these pans dry down, I mean, as I get to the bottom of these pans, all I have to do is add more color to it, leave the lid off for maybe a week, let them dry, and it's ready to go. But this one, because I know that, I'll fill it in advance. Even though I don't need it right now, I may just fill a pan up and just let it dry in advance for when I do. And then I'll have to pop this pan out and replace that one pan. Because if I don't, I'll have a disaster like this. Check this battery. Still decent. And I'm almost done with this. I'm not going to push this too much further. The only thing I can do is I'll wet it a little in order to add. This brush has a lot of wild hairs in it. Okay, that's as far as I'm going to push this one. I will post this in my community tab. And before I go, I think I'm going to flip through one of these art books. So this is an iconic childhood coloring book here. And if you're my age, you will remember the Munchie Cheese. And I took all of the pages out because I saved the pages as a PDF in my phone. So I wanted to take each page out and take accurate pictures of it. But these are such cute pages. And I love how they are plain on the back page. I also have a really cute Muppets coloring book, The Muppet Babies, but that one is in storage. I used to love the Munchie Cheese growing up. If you want any of these images, just let me know in the comments. I'll take a picture of it and post it in my community tab. But this has been fun. And that's the back of the book. So this has been fun. I hope you enjoyed the video today. And until next time, thank you guys for joining. And thank you for watching. Good night.